today. It's a little bit different than the last videos I posted. I'm still pretty new to this YouTube thing, trying to figure it out, trying some different apps, editing. A lot to learn to this. Kudos to those who have mastered it already and have lots of subscribers and followers. I envy you. But what we have here is 1993 Chevy S10 single cab short bed that I purchased. I believe it was like 2018. Never did anything with it. It sat outside for almost a whole year. I was like, I need to get moving, motivated on this and get it together. It was a 4.3 V6. That motor was junk. I pulled the trans. I'm not sure if the trans even worked either. But I intend to small block Chevy swap this. I know it's a pretty popular thing to do with these little trucks. They don't weigh anything. It wasn't in bad shape. Little odds and ends I need. Need to clean up the wiring, of course. It's all these sensor plugs and stuff we don't need. But overall, I'm going to hopefully document some of this for you all. So you all can see what other kind of stuff that I'm into. Hopefully you enjoy it. Did have to do a little work to this. Put a new rocker panel on this side, a new cab corner. I'm by no means an expert. It took me a while to make sure I cut it precisely. If they say measure twice, cut once, I probably measured 4 or 5 times. Making sure I had everything in the right place, make sure it was straight. But it turned out okay, I think. Did have to replace this side as well. It's not that bad. Of course, that is an epoxy primer right now. I sanded it all down after I welded it on. And still stripping the interior out. I haven't messed with this for a couple weeks now. I figured I'd make a little video about it. Let's see. Basically, I turned into like a miniature hot rod, I guess you would call it. Have a turbo 350 trans sitting there on the shelf. It's built trans, shift kit, all that good stuff. I'm not sure of the horsepower rating, and I did buy it secondhand. It's still fairly new. Only had about 400 miles on it, I think, the guy told me. I did see the speedometer of the car that it came out of, so that was verified. I do have a Ford 8.8, as you all can tell. Limited slip differential, 2 short side axles, 8.8. Some more stuff that goes with it down there. See, I was starting to get a little surface rust on the shaft there. Insulate this garage, hopefully, at some point here, too. Basically, I just have a few things for it. Upper ball joints. I did get the Speedway tubular upper control arms. They do have the steel cross shaft. Figured I'd give this a try. This is a budget build. It's by no means a drag or a show car. I'm not a professional, and just doing this in my spare time as a hobby. Hopefully I'll have something to drive in the spring. I do have a couple other projects I want to get working on as well when I get this finished. If I get a good feedback on this, I may do videos on that and continue to do them on these. Just show you the kind of stuff that I like to do. Do have cow tracks. These, I don't know if these are really budget, but hopefully they'll help it hook up. 4-way shocks. These are definitely budget shocks. I don't know how well they work, but some people say they work. Some don't like them at all. So I'll let you know how they work when I get it together. Basically, I'm going to put a floor shift in it. Get that column shifter out of there. Repaint the dash, bucket seats. That kind of stuff. Stuff you guys usually do to them. My reason for doing this truck was I had a motor that I'd purchased for a different vehicle. It was actually a dirt track race car. It was just the block. Changed everything about it. Didn't have the time commitment for that. It requires a lot of time that I don't have. Meanwhile, this is why this is taking so long. But projects take time. I do have this. This was my first motor build ever. It's just your basic 350. It does have iron heads because the class that I intended to run did require iron heads. Those headers will not work in this truck. I will have to get different headers, but I have started and ran this, and I'll let you guys hear it right here. Flat top 350, small block. Cast iron heads. I did port them. Hope that I did that right. Like I said, I'm not a professional. I just do this in spare time. A lot of research, reading, YouTube. Hopefully they'll make some good power. I think these heads do make pretty decent power for what they are. Of course, I could have got aluminum, but that would have just put me further over budget standards for what this became. It's Edelbrock intake, mechanical fuel pump, double pumper carb, HEI distributor. As I said, those headers will not work in this truck, but I am going to get some different ones for it this winter. When I start getting everything ready, and I said I need to paint and primer this thing still. I'm just sanding the rust off this and get it all painted. All the suspension stuff here that I'm going to do to it. Probably going to leave the lower control arms and coil springs there, the stock for now. Of course, I'm going to get different wheels and tires for it eventually as well. But yeah, if you guys have questions, please ask in the comments. Subscribe. I hope I can make more videos like this for you guys if this turns out well. So I'm still learning. I'm trying to make better videos for you to watch. And I hope you enjoy the content. Well, that pretty much wraps this one up.